With a recent news story featuring reggae artist Jador and his family making the headlines, we wanted to find out more about homeschooling. Jamila Blythe of the Jamaica Association of Homeschoolers, along with Kaya Buchanan Knife, who is tutored by Gary Lynch, are joining us now. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time. Jamila, I want to start with you. When we say homeschool, define homeschool for me.
Basically, homeschooling is, well, most people would say parents homeschooling their children at home, but also we have a situation where not all parents are able to do it by themselves. So we have Gary, who is also a homeschool tutor. So some parents, they have a tutor who goes in home and provide the services.
Now, how does it formally work? Are you aligned with the curriculum in the, what level is it, primary prep?
It really depends.
Can
We
be
go up
any
to
level.
Any level.
So you align yourself with the syllabus, the curriculum of what's going on in the traditional school system?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It really depends on the client or the parent. If it is that they want to follow the regular MOE curriculum, or if they want to use an Abeka, or if they want to use Montessori, there are various curriculums that you can use.
Okay. But is it not still for matriculate? Oh, but they're not matriculate because I'm not going to any school.
Well, for some parents, they do matriculate at the high school level because some people, they are not able to take it on. But for others, we do homeschooling from early childhood, primary, high school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Gary, talk to me about how it works. Do you shape according to the child's level of learning? Do you have a standard set curriculum that you apply when you go into homes? How does it work?
Well, good morning again. Yes, it's a mixture of both because the curriculum is based to suit the child as well, and also the national standard curriculum that's there also. We also combine it from different various curriculums to encompass a whole structural learning. So that's how it is really done. It's not alienated from one system to the other, but it's a combination of many different kind of curriculum.
So at the end of a high school journey, then the child should be able to matriculate to college.
Yes.
After you have, they will still have the requisite standard of education to be able to matriculate.
Definitely.
Okay.
And I must add that some Ivy League universities, they have a separate admission for homeschoolers because there is a high demand. They tend to be very independent, have very high skill sets, so they have a separate admissions in some Ivy League universities for homeschoolers.
I'm going to talk to Kaya in a minute. One of the things I want to find out from you, Jamila, is some people when they hear homeschooling, they say, well, what about the social skills? The child isn't able to group, to be around other children, to experience what it is to grow up with other personalities. What's your response to
Well,
that?
I have an only child. I homeschooled my son for 10 years. And one of the things that I saw and I also live in a rural area. So that was my concern. That was my family's concern. Hence, I started the Homeschool Jamaica Facebook page with the assistance of Barbara Blake Hanna. And I also tapped into her reservoir of knowledge to guide me. And out of that came a community, just being online. We have sports day together. Sure. We have monthly activities. Sorry, we didn't take all those pictures, but we have a vibrant community, homeschool community in Jamaica.
How many numbers?
We have over 100.
Here are some pictures.
Oh, awesome, awesome. So we're not isolated. We are not isolated. That's a myth. We are very much integrated. We are growing. Hence, the need for the association to become fully incorporated because we're not through with the incorporation for JAS.
Okay, so you have events together, you have field trips together?
We have a lot.
But what about the notion of just everyday education where it's just Gary, it's you and the child every day, outside of the special events? Some people would say, is that good for the child to be,
Well, all right. The thing is, mentorship is very important.
Yeah.
Because mentorship is an extracurricular activity. It is something that the child needs during the time of learning. They need to know why they're going to school, what is the education, what is the main basis of getting an education. So the importance is there. So all of these things come together. So there's different skill sets as well. Who want to learn about farming, different techniques, entrepreneurship, all of these things. Because you see, we want to encompass a kind of new outlook for Jamaica, you know, in terms of how the children think. The Ministry of Education is pushing critical thinking. Critical thinking comes through being able to explore many different options so that you may be operable in the society that you live in today and you can contribute to it.
We keep saying the child, and the child is here with us. Hi, Kaya.
Hello.
Talk to me about your homeschool experience. What is it like for you?
My homeschool experience is fun because I'm not in such a large class, so I can be more
You get specialized
interested.
attention.
Yes, I get more attention during my studies.
Is there any more pressure on you because it's you one?
No, there's not
No?
more pressure.
What is a typical school day like for you?
A typical school day is do my first 2 subjects, and then we get a lunch break. And then
What
we
time
do
does school start?
My
for
school
example?
starts 9:30
Okay.
because my teacher says that it's easier to learn. When you wake up early in the morning, it's harder to focus.
Yeah. If you crank up the brain.
Right.
Yeah. So you give them a little more time.
Right.
To,
And there's
to
something
flow.
called learning hours
Yeah.
that some people need to know about for a child. When they're at certain hours, their brain is not too stimulated. So you try to catch them at the time when their brain is at optimum.
And that's 9:30.
Yeah.
Because it's you homeschool.
Yes,
Kai.
it's me.
Okay. So 9:30, you do 2 subjects until,
12 o'clock,
and then you have lunch from 12 till,
1 o'clock.
and then at 1 you start, and you do how many more subjects until the end
One
of
more
school?
subject, and then 2:30 we finish.
Okay. And that you cover quite a bit in that
Yeah,
in
we
that
do,
time
we
period.
do.
Gary, well, Gary, you have to be then a jack of all. You teach science, maths, English,
everything.
So what is your training in this?
Oh, my training is early. I'm an early childhood specialist, so, and I'm also a proud graduate of the Kingston College, which has
course.
really taught us how to be like nation builders.
We'll allow you to say that on
Yeah.
Women's Day. We'll allow you to say that on Women's Day.
Okay, all right, cool. And yeah, these and the tertiary part of it as well. So it is really a wonderful experience because I know that Jamaica is moving into a different climate in terms of education. And we as homeschoolers, we want the Ministry of Education to see us as not as alienated, but as a supporter and an aid and a helper to the development of the
child.
society.
Sometimes they say, Jamila, that the classrooms are too large. There are too many children for one teacher to be able to manage. Does the homeschooling give the teacher that opportunity and the child, because I'm listening to Kaya, to learn at their own pace and to get the kind of attention, so the weak areas, you're able to zone in on them a little bit more, and then the stronger areas to shore them up a little bit more? Is that one of the things?
Most definitely. I am also a trained educator, and people would ask me, how is it that you're teaching in the system but you're homeschooling your child?
Yes.
My answer, because I understand the system and the lack thereof. Therefore, when I knew I always wanted to homeschool, going into the classroom, teaching in an inner city school like Charlie Smith, where, you know, so many things. I'm in a classroom where you have 45 children. Last week, a graduate called me, Miss, I got an offer to school, and there are 45 children. I don't think I want to take that. And I'm like, take it, because it helps you to grow as an educator.
Build character.
It does build character.
Yeah.
But as it relates to your own child, that's not something for me.
Okay.
So is it that? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, because my producer wanted to know. So in terms of, and I think Simone said it in another way, but we just wanted to be more specific. So in terms of PEP, CXC, so on, do the children sit all of those exams? And how do they do that?
It really depends on the client or on the parent. For me, I didn't want my son to do PEP. I'm not really into much of the standardized testing. However, you do have parents, they already have that set. They want them to do the grade 3, they want them to do grade 5, they want them to do PEP. And there is a process at the ministry. You go to the independence unit, you register, but it's not mandatory, but I do recommend that you register in events like what happened to Jador, you know. and you go to the assessment unit, you register for the exams, they place you at a center. For CXC, you go to Piccadilly, you register as a private candidate, so you can do everything.
But if your child doesn't sit PEP, how do you get them into a high school?
Well, I always ask people this question. When people come to Jamaica and they have not done PEP, how do they get into high schools?
You're still not
They,
answering.
ha-
You're not,
they,
but you're
have
not,
to, they have to do a test.
but you're not answering my question.
They do a test.
Or they do,
They
a,
do a
they do
test.
a different type of test.
Yeah, they'll do a test. So all schools, they have their entrance tests. You do it. And schools are businesses. All schools want bright students, and they also want parents who are supportive.
You know, what you're saying is very kind of, I want to say it's earth-shattering for a number of reasons. Because, in effect, what you're saying is that if I choose to homeschool my child, I don't have to put them through the rigors of PEP, but they can still get into a good high
Yes,
school
they
just by
can.
sitting a...
Yes, they can.
So,
Well,
Okay.
but the catch-22 is they have to pass the entrance to go
That's
into the
correct.
high
yes, of
they
school.
have
course,
to.
but I mean,
So-
if
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so is it that the ministry hasn't formalized or recognized the Jamaica Homeschool Association yet?
No, basically in 2012, we had the first meeting. They started engaging us because they saw that we are a growing
formidable group.
Yes, and they encouraged us to form an association. There have been instances where we had to write our homeschool proposition paper. And for example, the JTC bill, we had some concerns with that. We put forward our concerns and they adjusted the bill because they addressed some of the concerns we had. Similarly, at the Ministry of Education, we had an issue with the registration process. They changed the registration process in 2015. We had some issues. As an organization, we put forward our suggestions and they did take some of the recommendations. So we do have a good relationship. We have a new registrar now in the person of Miss Sharon Hunt. We do have a good relationship with the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
So I don't want people to think that we don't want to register and we're anti this
it's a
and we're
rogue organization.
dissident
It's not.
characters. No, not at all.
You just
We
find a
have to go,
different way.
Jamila. I just wanted Kaya to have the final word. For the parents who are watching, Kaya, who might be thinking about homeschooling, what would you say to them about homeschooling their kids?
Homeschooling is a easier way to me to focus in your class and to learn more.
Yeah.
Because you get more attention and you'll be able to learn a lot more.
She's the only one in our class? Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Eye-opening,
All right.
at the very
Yeah,
least. Yeah. Okay.
Just a note, we did extend an invitation to the Ministry of Education, but they didn't take us up on our offer, so just to be clear. So we want to thank Jamila Blythe of the Jamaica Association of Homeschoolers, along with Kaya Buchanan-Knife, who is tutored by Gary Lynch.
All right.
All right.
Changing lanes, we may not experience spring, even though we talk about it in Jamaica all the time. But other countries do, and we're going to check out how things bloom across the globe when we come back. Get my sinusitis things ready. Chew. Thank you very much.